Leave your comments on the Ask Reddit sub, and I'll read your answers on the next episode of LWIAR 2. How would you feel about a law requiring parents that receive child support to supply the court with proof of how the child support money is being spent? Yup, this sums it up perfectly. Also, what is the separation between child support money and your own money? I can't imagine people having to shop and say, oh, put this on this card, that's for the judge, and put the other items on this card. As you brought up with the grocery bill, would that open up new problems such as generic versus brand, healthy food versus junk food? It seems like this stems from someone thinking their ex is wasting the child support money. No one is getting rich off child support. You don't itemize it. Child support is part of the family income, which is used to put a roof over the children's head, food on the table, pay for schooling, and yes, even take vacations. I feel like people that say it should only be spent on the child have a very narrow definition of what that means, usually with either the intention of lowering their obligations or as a tool for controlling the other party. Haha, no way anyone would be so petty. Nope, you will never find a larger collection of petty shitheads than in family court. Not all of them are, to be fair, but that is where you will find the grand champions. We're talking people who will throw a Category 5 crap storm over the family dog, and then have it put down a week later because they know you liked it. There is no depth too low. You know what's great about being the child in this scenario? Your parents fight over you like some common object, and over the years the more they fight to keep you without asking what you want, the more you really do feel like some object. Also, 2 Christmases. A family law professor of mine said she once had a couple rack up almost $1,000 in legal bills arguing who got the crappy old barbecue in a divorce. I saw a comment in an AskReddit thread before about pettiness where a couple literally spent thousands of dollars on lawyers arguing over who got a crappy old ashtray in a divorce. Apparently it had sentimental value. The husband eventually won and he smashed it on the steps of the courthouse in front of the ex-wife. He didn't really care about it at all, just didn't want her to have it. Edit. Shout out to you, Hot Rod Lincoln, for finding the exact comment I was referencing. It's one of those things that sounds good in theory but will be too costly and impractical to do. Edit for clarification. For the people arguing with me, yes, I already know there's no real way for it to work. I simply mean that it sounds good on the surface, but once you start trying to figure out how to do it, the whole idea falls apart. Just having it be a card instead of cash would go a long way to stop it from going to drugs. Edit. Wow, this blew up quick. Anyway, to respond to a few people, I know you still can abuse it for these kinds of things, but it would make it a lot harder to. How much money would it waste reviewing and verifying this proof? How would you implement that? A parent has to pay for food for the child and themselves. Are you going to ask for 2 receipts each time? What about the cost of gas, providing a home, electricity, internet, or TV expenses? Do you split all those up proportionally? I get the argument that the parent could spend all the money on themselves, but there's no good way to police it. Child support is supposed to go to everything that it requires to raise a child, which includes sports and clothes for them, but also a lot of shared expenses with the adult. Edit. A lot of responses saying, put it on a card that limits purchase types. Again, how would you implement an approved list of purchase types? It takes much more than food and clothes to raise a child. The point of child support is to make sure the child can maintain a lifestyle that would have been afforded to them if both parents were together. I had a TV in my room. Should child support pay for that? Well, if there was never a divorce, I probably would have had it anyway, so child support should go towards that. What about a vacation? I only ever vacationed with my custodial parent. Should child support help to pay my plane ticket? Child support isn't just to ensure that I wasn't on the street. It's meant to maintain a lifestyle that was planned for me when both parents were together. This is a common argument from men who care more about their money than their children. The court system does not have time to babysit everyone who receives child support. I also dislike the idea that under this model there's a presumption that child support money is misspent. There should only be monitoring after a showing of misconduct. IMO. No. I pay my daughter's father, and trust he does what is best if their family is struggling with expenses. So is my daughter, because she is part of that family too. That's just how I see it. Now, if they went and got into a bunch of financial trouble that was just completely unnecessary, and he couldn't bounce back, maybe that would be grounds to get full custody through the courts. If he couldn't balance the budget appropriately, it would no longer be in her interest to keep her in that household. Who decides whether taking a child to Chuck E. Cheese is appropriate use of money? Keep the government away from citizens' lives. Someone thinks it is a good idea to add to the burden and make a stressful, hard job more so. Make that B word jump through a few demeaning, labor-intensive hoops if she wants to get her paws on my hard-earned cash. That's the actual agenda here. Let's be clear. Thanks for watching LWIAR 2. The best of all time r/AskReddit submissions and comments. If you like this video, check out the original LWIAR channel. And don't forget to like and subscribe.